That's my seat. That's fine. You can sit.
Raj, and you please come front. Somebody there. Ishmi, that's your seat. Okay. So let us start with Apni Prasad Ji Fateh. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Langar सारे ने मिले सी कि कोई भी मिले सी चलो जोर ना ना तो अपने फतेह का जवाब दीजिए वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह। I would also like to inform you that we have live coverage for this particular talk. We want to make sure that some that are outside Nairobi or do not come for some reason still have access to this information. So today has been a very good day for the students because आज पाठशाला के लिए जानेंगे आज पाठशाला में किसी दी पाठशाला की क्लास से की आज नहीं आज छुट्टी साले ने कहा ना Education is more than academics, right? Education defines who you are as a person. It is what guides your lifestyle, it guides your choices, and most importantly, it guides your spirit. So today, the Education and Library Committee, which is an affiliated committee of the East Africa's Ramgarhia Board, under their leadership, we officially have gone into a memorandum of understanding with UNICEF, and Madam Krutika Elvi is now our contact person at UNICEF. We will be partnering for various events to support your education in life. I don't want to say at school alone, but in life. And today's event was based on that. This is the first event that we're doing with them. We also had Madam Jane Wangi. She is a very passionate Kenyan who has bridged the gap between educational institutions from the government and the private sector. She sits on various boards, and most importantly, she is also a consultant for East Africa's Ramgarhia Board with the Education and Library Committee. Having said that, we had organized in the morning a one-to-one session with the UNICEF team led by Kritika, and we had Jane Monkey also here in the morning, who helped a few of the students who are available to charter their way forward in education. There were some students who were confused about what careers they should choose. There were some who had an idea of the career they wanted to do, but they weren't sure of what the future would hold for them. And there were those who knew that there are certain universities they want to go to, but they wanted to know when should they start applying. And one of the first things we discovered this morning when we were having a discussion with the President, Mr. Surinder Singh, is that you have to apply at least 1 year before you wish to go to your university of choice. And that means that 2 years before that you should have sort of decided actually where you want to go. And start narrowing down the year after, and just before you leave for your further studies, you should have applied for it. And that is a very lengthy process. At the same time, we were asked to give affordable education options abroad, and so we had Pauline, sorry for that. We had Pauline come in today and give us a bit of an insight about affordable education in Eastern Europe. Turkey, Cyprus, those countries where you can have good degree programs but at affordable prices. So clearly I'm not the expert on this, and I would like to therefore request Madam Krutika to please take the floor, and welcome very much to Eastern Ramgarhia. Thank you.
reached several communities in Nairobi where I've helped the youth and the teens. Personally, I serve, I'm a member of SITUP, Parklands, which is a church here in Parklands, and I talk to the teens and youth over there on time-to-time basis. I work with the Ramgarhia community, I work with the Osho community. So it's good that we are now here and we are here to help you. Okay? The motto of this entire thing is to help you understand the young minds and also the parents to understand what is needed for you to achieve what you want to achieve. Because a lot of times we have this idea in our mind, but half of the time we don't know how to achieve that, right? Like we know that we like a certain dish, but we don't know how to cook it. Yeah? Career choices are the same. So before I begin even with the main presentation and giving you all that information, which some of you are going to get bored with, I can already see that. But it's very important to understand your own self first. So I want to start with a quick activity, and I want you all to participate in that. It's just a 2 minutes activity, nothing more. You don't have to get up from your seat. I'll not embarrass you, I promise. Okay? When I tell you to clap in a certain direction, you have to clap. So if I tell you to clap up, you'll clap up. Front, down, something like that. Okay? Are we together? Have you understood what we need to do? Yes? No? Maybe?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so just follow my instructions. If I tell you to clap in the front, clap in the front. All of you together. It's a group activity, not an individual activity. Okay? So all together, clap in the front. Top, down, up, back. Yeah, not doable, yeah? For some of us, it's not, we can't even reach our hands back there. Yeah? As I promised, it's a 2 minutes activity. What do we understand by this activity is we all are different. There are some things which are common that we all know how to do, right? We know that we have to study. We know that we have to go to school. We know that we have to eat and sleep and do life, right? But then there are certain things that we are not very confident, not very sure where we want to be, and maybe not very good at, right? So, how many of you in this room already know what they want to do or what they want to do in life or as a career? By the show of hands. Good, good, good. Okay, so the others who have not raised their hands, you guys are my favorite people. Because now I get to guide you, and guidance is something I love doing, right? Now, how many of you in this room, okay, I'm going to just take some professions randomly and see where we have more interest. Anyone, how many of you are interested in doing medicine, becoming a doctor, and so on and so forth? A lot of doctors in the room. I'm coming to you, all of you, for free treatment when you become doctors. Okay. Engineers? Got some there. Okay, boys. Girls, where are we? Okay, there's one there. Okay, mom had to tell you. How about, tell me a course which is booming. Computer science. Okay. Because computer science has AI and all of that, so it fascinates you, right? Nursing, anyone for nursing? Very popular. There's slight hand up here. Anyone for aerospace engineering? Aeronautical, something like that. Okay, so you see we are a bit of diverse group here, right? We have different choices. And anyone who wants to study business like me? Evergreen. It will never go out of style. Yeah? So I studied business. I specialize in marketing. Yeah. It was not really a joyride, I say, because there was a lot of math. And I didn't like math at high school level. Anyone else who doesn't have math? I thought I'd get more. Yeah. So for me personally, math was not my favorite subject. Rather, I would run away from it. But as I grew older, I did realize that math is a very important subject. You need math for mostly everything. You need math for business, you need math for engineering, you need math for even engineering. And some students think architecture, courses like architecture because they're arts related, don't need mathematics, but they do need mathematics. Yeah? So I'm going to just briefly talk about, I want to have more interactive session than just me talking because I'll get bored as well. So mine is to just tell you that there are some things that you really need to hold on to at high school level that will actually take you or make you choose the right career. Okay? So if you're someone who's like me, who doesn't like mathematics, there are courses for you and there are careers for you. So don't worry. Okay? There are things that you can still do. And those who want to study something in terms of engineering, math, engineering and computer science and medicine and all of these courses, you still need to have a very strong mathematics. So let me burst one bubble to you. Math is a very important subject. Yeah? Especially up to a certain level of your high school or your junior school, it is a very, very important subject. Yeah? Is there any subject that you guys find is completely no value for that subject? If you were to pick one subject that has completely no value according to you, what subjects would you pick? Tell me. Yeah. Wow. I agree too. What are the subjects? Someone here? What are the subjects would you think are not something necessary? Yeah, I didn't understand geography either. Yeah. Okay, now that I think of the subjects, a lot of it makes sense.
There's one here as well.
Yes, tell me. Sociology. I was just telling you about sociology. Yes. What else? And yes. Life skills? It's important. Sorry. That one can't be ruled out. That needs to be made mandatory actually. What else? Any subjects that you... Yes, I agree with you. But we can't do much.
Any other? There's so many. Some of you being what, 17 subjects, surely. There can't be only 5.
Global perspectives. Do you guys have that?
How come you haven't picked that?
Huh? Global perspectives. Yes. Languages. Any languages that you feel are not necessary? Swahili. You live in Kenya.
National language in Kenya.
French? Do you think so? Okay, what if someone wants to go to Europe? If that's their problem.
There's Duolingo now.
There's Duolingo now, yeah. Well, yeah, so you guys are right. There are certain subjects, except from life skills, which I would want to make mandatory if I got a chance. But there are some subjects which does not make sense, but you still have to study them, right? Do you ever think, why do you have to study them? Okay, that builds your high school and the junior high school structure, yeah? So there are certain subjects that the school or the curriculum board have designed to just give you the knowledge of it. It might not necessarily take you anywhere, or it might not necessarily lead you into any career per se, but then it is necessary in order to build your profile, yeah? So for example, geography, you may not want to study geography or make a career out of geography. You don't want to know the altitude and the latitude and I don't know what terms they use in geography, right? So those things may not be helpful for you in your regular life, but then at that point you need to know that there are these places in the world. You know, surprisingly, I didn't know before I moved to Kenya, and it is very foolish actually. I didn't know that Africa is a continent. I thought Africa is a country. I'm not going to lie, my husband's going to be shocked, but I thought Africa is a country. I didn't know it's a continent and it consists of different countries, you know. When I moved here is when I realized. Then another biggest shock was Egypt. I didn't know Egypt was part of Africa. I thought it's part of the Middle East. Okay, I know necessarily not that geography teaches you this, but it's important to understand the basics, right? It's important to understand where what belongs, right? Now history is another subject. We don't need to really know the history of how and what, but then isn't it good to know that we fought for our independence? No? Doesn't it interest you? Now imagine if we were still colonized. Would you guys have the freedom that you have right now? I mean, I feel that it was very important to understand that things that happened, that took place in the history of it. Because now that's what led to the freedom, right? So yeah, it's the point that yeah, you don't want to make a career out of it, fine. But it's important for you to gain the basic knowledge. You see, if you hadn't gone to kindergarten and learned your ABCs, would you be able to talk right now? It's that simple, yeah. So some subjects are going to be a part of our curriculum and we can't get rid of them. But there are some subjects, of course, as you grow in your high school level, you can drop them, you can get rid of them and only focus on the subjects that bring value to your career, okay? Now, to those who want to study medicine, I want to talk to you. Do you know that the two subjects which are the most important subjects for you? Bio and? Wrong. Huh? Bio. There's bio is right. Okay. Math. Yes. Biochem is a combination, yes, that you will need. But math and biology are the two most important subjects you need in order to pursue any medicine related field. Yeah? Similarly, for engineering, what do you think are the two most important subjects? Physics and math. Yes, bingo. So physics and math will build your profile to lead you into that curriculum or that degree that you want to pursue, right? Now, anyone who wants to study psychology, I know she's studying psychology already. What do you think would be the important subjects for you? Don't you think like sometimes these subjects are not given much importance on these career choices, and yet they are very popular? So what do you think for psychology, what would you need, ideally in high school? Not literature per se, but English, yeah. Not English literature, but English languages. Then, what else? Psychology, yes, but you know psychology is not a primary subject. No. But yeah, a combination of psychology, English, and maybe something to do with even history. Because psychology does not necessarily require you to have certain subjects which are like necessary, like math. No, you don't need it. Unless you want to study the clinical side of psychology, then yes. Clinical psychology basically leads you to psychiatry and prescribing meds and all of those sides, right? Now for architecture, what do you think are the subjects you need? Do you know?
Maths.
Huh?
Math and physics.
Okay, first of all, you need to be really good with your arts, like your drawing skills and your sketching skills or whatever they call it, your design skills. You cannot be someone who's a scribbler and want to become an architecture, you know what I mean? Yes, I was very surprised. I really know. Okay, I'm going to ask you again, okay? Next time. So, yeah, not a scribbler, but a proper designer. And how do you design the things that you need in architecture? Do you know the link? It's actually math. There are equations. There are equations that you use to design the structures of architecture, whether it's landscape, whether it's urban, whatever. If you're designing indoor spaces, you know, like everything is calculated. We have this much space, and in this space we need to have a stage, we need to have enough sitting, so it's all calculated. And when it's calculated, it's always math. There's a lot of geometry as well, but mainly equation, mainly algebra, this advanced math and further math, these are the subjects that you need, yeah? So it's something that really excites me, that a lot of students do not know this. And that's why I'm here today, yeah? To make you understand that there are some things that you need and some things that you can skip, yeah? So anyone who wants to study medicine, let's get this straight. You need biology, mandatory, okay? So if you're going to start from year 9, you better start focusing on your bio from year 9 onwards. Because year 9 is when you're being, okay, well, the first subject selection happens. Then after year 11, you do another. Because after year 11, you drop from your 9 subjects to maybe 4 or 5. 4 ideally. Yeah, but some students take more subjects. Yeah? So you drop after year 11, and go with 4 subjects. And now in your final year, that is year 13, I'm talking about the international curriculum, where you drop to now 3 subjects. Yeah? So it's very important to make the right choice in your year 9. All the bio and some of these subjects will be mandatory in some schools, the way they design their curriculums, but they will also sometimes advise you to skip it. And if you're not really good at bio, my suggestion personally would be not to study medicine. Because the way biology works and the way you will work in medicine, it will be a lot of biology. Yeah? So if you know that you're interested in it, and yes, it interests you, but your scores are not showing according to your interest, then you need to reevaluate your choice. And you need to understand where you are slacking and how you can do better, or how you can change your course altogether. Because you don't necessarily need to study medicine and spend that many years studying medicine. There are other courses which eventually also lead you in the line of medicine. Have we thought of that? You see? Let's quiz this, okay? There was one, and those who I already quizzed won't answer, okay? I know some of you were already there in the last session. There was one course which really boomed during COVID. One profession. Yeah, don't answer. Which course was that? Which profession do you think? Louder? I can't hear you if you're murmuring. Or raise your hands. One course that really took up. Yes.
Maths.
Maths? Try again. Maths always there, but no. You're close. Something related to bio.
Medicine.
No.
Chemistry.
But you're close. Something related to bio, chemistry. Yes.
Physics.
No. What else? Someone raise their hands here. No? Pass? Don't know? I tell you? You wanna try? Go.
History.
Huh?
History.
Okay, I'm going to tell you the answer. It was biomedical sciences. The biomedical scientists actually, they were lacking people in the industry because they were the ones designing the vaccines. And it really took up. So people were paid a lot of money to just come and join this team of scientists in US and wherever they were trying to make these vaccines. They actually took up really big money for designing these things. Yeah, and it's still right there. It's still booming. And it's related to medicine, but it's not entirely medicine. You're designing vaccines and medications for epidemics and pandemics, yes. And you are close to a doctor, but you're not really operating on anyone. You're not prescribing medicine, but instead you're behind the scenes designing it. So isn't that something that really, really interests you? I mean, it interested me, although I'm so bad at those sciences, but it really interested me that, wow, okay, we didn't even know that there are people like that who study biomedical science and they are scientists who design these things. So that is one career that really took off. And people are actually now willing to study into biomed more and more because they've understood that there's so much scope and there's so much that can be done in that sector, right? There's genetic and genome science, there's biomedical, biological sciences, there's molecular biology, there's biology. So there's so many things that can be done in just this, with these sciences if you have. You don't necessarily have to become a doctor if you're good at biology. That's the normal understanding that we have. Oh, I scored an A in bio, maybe I should do medicine. But are you really cut out? Do you know how many years it takes to study medicine? 14 years? Yes, right. Especially if you go to North American countries, 4 years undergraduate pre-med, that is 4 years. Then now you do 5 years of medicine school, and then now 5 years of residency, and then eventually, if you're lucky, you'll get a job and you'll get a good paid job. You know? So I think that we need to evaluate our options. We are so set on the traditional courses that we forget to look outside of the traditional courses. What else does we have to go for? Yes.
Zoology. Zoology.
Zoology, yes, that's also one course that actually is right. Yeah, can we clap for him? Zoology has taken off really, really well as well. A lot of students that I've met in the last 3 years, I'll tell you at least 2 of them have gone for zoology. Yeah, so that's something really nice. Now engineering, coming to engineering also, there are so many sectors in engineering, right? Are we only in the know of the traditional ones, the mechanical, the computer, the electrical? What other courses do we have?
Building. Building.
I didn't get you.
Building.
Building. Oh, construction you mean? Yes. Yeah, you're right. Civil engineering. That falls under the civil engineering. Yes, you're right. Aeronautical. Very good. Picking up really fast these days. What else? Yes. Pilot? Yes. Yes, you're right. Yes. Aerospace. I met someone, I don't know if he's still here. I met someone this morning.
Yeah, I'm also looking at
astrophysics. Yeah. Astrophysics is a part of engineering as well, I guess. Wanted to say something.
quantum.
Quantum engineering and aerospace, astrophysics, they go hand in hand. Yes. So it's delighting to know that you guys know some of the extraordinary engineering courses that are available, and it's good that we are looking into these options. I was very, very impressed by one student I met in the morning, which actually took me to a different side of astrophysics. It's not very common that I see students interested to study that course. But yes, most likely I get students who want to do mechanical, then eventually get into mechatronics or robotics, because those are the specializations you can pick under mechanical. Then there are students who want to study computer engineering and eventually maybe dive into machine learning or AI or data science and so on and so forth. Another combination which I really like these days is the combination of business and data. Yeah, it's something it's either big data analysis, or data structure, or business development with data science. These are the courses. In Kenya, we have BBIT, for example. Yeah. So these are some courses that are really, really booming right now, because you get to have the best of two worlds here. You study business and you study data. And if you tend to study these courses, for example, in US, you get an extra stay back because you're studying a STEM course. STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So that means you get extra years to stay back after your studies to work in the field of your study. Where normally you will only get 1 year, here you get 3 years in the STEM qualification. And in STEM qualification, you tend to get a job much more easily because you're still on your student visa and you have that much allowance to stay back. So employers tend to hire you quickly for these courses, and they are more specialized. Yeah, they are more niche. If the work you do in those courses is something that is not easily done by everyone. It's not everyone's skill set, right? So that's something that really inspires me in terms of how you take your life after your degree. Because now, yes, you have chosen the right subjects. Okay, we are done with it. Then now we are done with our degree. But then where are we going with it? Do we really have a career out of it? Are we really doing justice? Are we going to make, because it's a return for an investment that we are talking about. Your parents have invested in you to study that course, right? And it's expensive. Education these days is unfortunately expensive, yeah? Although it needs to be accessible and more affordable, but here we are, right? So it's a return on your investment, because if you do end up getting a good job after you study the course that you want to do, you're basically taking all that money back that you spent, right? So it's very interesting that this is one of the life skills that students miss out on. That we fall under the peer pressure. My friend is studying medicine, I want to study medicine. 3 years down the line, I can't do medicine. I'm not cut out for it. You drop out. 3 years of money wasted. 3 million per year gone. Yeah? Do we understand that? So because I have parents in the room, I'm open to talk about the expenses as well. Yeah? Because I know how much it takes. I'm a parent. I have a 5-year-old. My husband's here with me. And even at the kindergarten level, the amount of money we are spending, madness. But it's something that gives you back, right? Education always gives you back. So you have to make it work. Whatever you invest in, it has to come back to you. It's a simple logic. Yeah? So look at courses which are going to take you somewhere 10 years down the line. There are some courses which are never going to go out of fashion. I'll tell you that for free. Yeah? And do you know what courses are those? Yes.
Teaching.
Huh?
Teaching.
Teaching. Absolutely. Education will never go out of style. Yeah? So have you ever considered taking a teaching, like becoming a teacher?
Please, I also want to know. Any teachers? Anybody who wants to become a teacher like me and Mrs. Sira? Anybody? Really? We're not inspiring you enough.
Yeah, but I'll tell you a funny thing. You know what happens? One of my friends, he studied civil engineering, okay? Civil engineering in that time when we were graduating from high school was very popular. And he studied civil engineering, he didn't pass that well, okay? He failed a lot of subjects, and then now, at the end of it, he's like, okay, if nothing works out, I'll just become a teacher. And I'm like, okay, so teaching is the lowest profession you look at. And it's actually at the highest. It should be the other way around because you are imparting wisdom, you are imparting knowledge. But sadly, it shouldn't be looked at like that. I really feel so inspired looking at some teachers teaching subjects like physics and math and computer science. I mean, it takes a lot. It takes a lot for them to study and teach you. And mind you, you guys are not very easy to be taught. Your generation is not very easy to be taught. Yeah? We need a lot of patience, we need to know your language, we need to make you understand your way. When we were studying, they would just slap us and make us understand. But that can't be done right now. And my mother used to, you know that spoon that we flip our chapatis with? We used to sit with that pot to teach me. And still, I was so bad at math. And she used to teach me with that thing hot in her hand. And it didn't help. And nowadays, we can't do that. So teaching is one career, one option that, yes, I would want you to seriously consider. It's beautiful. Yeah? What else? What are the other careers you think that would really never go out of style? Somebody. It's IT. But what if AI takes over? No, what happens to IT? I really want to know your take. Yes. Business. What else? Accounting.
So AI will not take over?
No. Okay.
And next, hospitality.
Yes. Sorry? Scientists? What if AI? What else? I'm looking at a perspective of it from not being taken over by AI. Because there are a lot of things, okay, well, the job I do right now, the consulting, the advising and everything is easily available on the internet. But what does it mix? Like, do you really, yes? Where's the psychologist in the room?
ChatGPT is not doing a good job.
It's missing the personal touch, yeah? Yeah. So I feel that there are certain jobs that we've mentioned in this room that cannot be ever taken over by AI. And even if there are jobs that are taken over by AI, like for example, I was giving my job right now, the consulting and the guidance, if we go on chat and just put a prompt that, chat, I don't know what I want to do with my life, I don't know what career to pick. And it will actually give you a lot of options. And it will tell you that these are the most booming careers right now and you can choose from this and this and that. But again, is it accurate? Does it really supply your need? You know? That's what we need to ask ourselves. Like business, for example, can never go out of style because people are going to keep doing business. People are going to keep developing. Yeah? And it cannot be taken out. It cannot be taken out of our system, even for our ecosystem, like even for our own selves. Can we survive without businesses? No, right? We need those shops to go to buy things, right? Even whether it's online or in person. There's one very important one that we are missing. One career. And you see it in most rooms that you walk in. Well, okay, architecture is there, but that's not the one I'm talking about. Do we always, let's take an example of this place. When you come to Gurudwara, do you always have food? Do you always get served? Chef? Yeah? You think that's not a career, isn't that a good career? It is, right? Because everyone needs food, right? Can AI take over food? Okay, well, it can give you recipes, but it cannot really cook for you, can it? So I think I had one. I met you, chef, yes. So that's also such an interesting career to take on, because yes, you might not really get paid really well from the start of it if you look at it, because you start at a very intermediate level where you're assisting, then now you move step up, and then you become a sous chef. And also it takes a lot of work, a lot of creativity, and a lot of new experiments. Yeah, I think my husband was also interested in becoming a chef once upon a time. Now he just makes green breakfast every day, which is also very nice. So I think that's one career that we don't think about that much. Yeah, and for those of you who are still at an early stage of planning, you should consider these careers which can never be impacted or harmed by AI. I feel IT, yes, and IT cannot also be taken over by AI. I'll tell you why. Because AI is designed by the IT engineers or the IT developers or the software developers and so on and so forth. And these people behind the scenes make AI better every day. Because the responses that we get from chat or any other AI platform that we use cannot just be generated by themselves. There has to be a certain level of coding that has been put in, a certain level of intelligence that has been imparted by an actual human into that system to generate that kind of response. Yeah? So again, I don't think there's literally any job that can be taken over by AI, but it can be smoothened. Like for example, accounting. A lot of, in 10 years ago, if you look at it, we used to do bookkeeping in the book, quite literally. Yeah? But then now, bookkeeping is more digitalized, right? And AI actually helps enhancing that bookkeeping. Yeah. What the engineers behind the scenes make sure that that data of your bookkeeping is secure, yeah, and is straightened out, like it's properly planned out, and it gives you the results that you need. Yeah. So everything you see is interconnected. Every career somehow is interconnected. So similarly, your goals from your junior high school needs to be set in a certain way that you take those subjects which are mandatory, but take those subjects as well which will lead you somewhere. Yeah? If you know you're someone who would want to end up in a French-speaking country, then you need to take French as a language. Yeah? Personally, for me, if you ask me which is one of the courses that I really like, or the careers that I really like, is psychology. I do a lot of psychology work. I meet people like you on a daily basis. People your age, younger, bigger, older than me sometimes. I meet a lot of students like on a daily basis. And it takes, every person is different. You know that exercise that we did? Some of you were able to clap at the back, right? Yeah, you could clap, and some of you could not. That tells us enough that every person is different. And every person has a different skill. Yeah? My mother used to say my mother says that not all 5 fingers are the same size, they're the same like that. Yeah? So it's something similar like that. So psychology actually teaches you about the different personalities, different aspects of how people think, how people react to certain things, and how people deal with certain situations. For example, when someone is happy, most of you will jump out of joy and smile and be like all about it. But there are some people who just be happy sitting down. If they are happy, they need to sit down. Then they just take their happiness and contain it, because that's how they feel happy. Yeah? Some people, the way they deal with grief is different. They say everyone deals with grief differently. Why is that? Because everyone has a different way of expressing their emotions. Everyone has your mom might have a different way of expressing her love, and your dad might have a different way of expressing his love. Right? So I think that tells us on a daily basis, the people that we meet are all different. And just imagine saying that. I mean, I would love to. Over and over. If I got a chance, yes, I will. So that's something that really interests me. What I want you to take out here today is there is more available than we think. You know, there's more courses, there are more careers, there are more opportunities than you think there are. I know parents play an important role. Parents, we might want our students, our kids to study a certain subject or a certain course, and to a limit I think it's good that you give them that guidance right from home, and you make them understand the things which are right, which are wrong, because sometimes as parents, and trust me kids, I tell you this as a parent, we do understand that there are things that are right for you. Yeah? Sometimes you won't see it from our eyes, but then there are things that your parents see, they have experienced it, they have lived life, and they know where it will lead you. Yeah? For example, if I tell my 5-year-old, don't run, you will fall, she'll still run and she'll fall. But does she know that mom already told her, don't run, you'll fall? It's the same kind of thing. So parents, I would want you to give them the advice, but also at some point you have to leave them. If they don't listen to you, leave them. That's what I tell you. Because when they realize it on their own, when they learn it on their own, it stays with them for life. It's like it's marked on them now. Because they didn't listen to you, and then now they went on doing what they wanted. And unfortunately, we have to let them suffer sometimes. I'm not ready to do it myself as a parent, but I am here telling you that. Yeah? And sometimes it is kids very important to understand where your parents are coming from. They know how and where you need to move. Yeah? And secondly, the most important part, what parents and you need to come in terms is how much can we afford. Because there are some courses which are extremely out of bounds expensive. Do we have the capability of taking up that course and paying that fees? For example, medicine, expensive. Have you talked to your parents? Are they going to be in a place to afford it? As parents, I'm asking you, there are certain courses that they talk about and you look at them and you're like, wow, so expensive, 1 million per term. So you pay 2 million per year. Yeah? Then that times 4. Because you're studying for 4 years at least. Yeah? So are we able to do that? And sometimes it's good to be considerate of the parents and how much of it can they afford. Yeah? That's why we talk about this affordable destinations that take you out. And yet you get a qualified degree and you don't spend an arm and a leg behind it. You know? You spend something more affordable and you get a qualified degree out of it. Yeah? A few years ago, yes, the big countries like US, Canada, UK, they were all the only 3 countries that people could think about, and it had become a thing of status. That yeah, okay, well, मेरे रिश्तेदार यहाँ पे मुझे जाना, मेरा cousin यहाँ मुझे वहाँ जाना. It doesn't work like that. We have to look at our comfort. We have to look at how much of comfort we can achieve with that. Yeah? Are we together? Are we sleepy? No? Still awake, yeah? Okay, so this was my piece of advice. Now I want to hear from you. There are some challenges that I'm sure you face at your high school level or even in terms of the decision making. And we are here to help you. So I want to hear from you what you think would help you get to the career that you want to. And as I said, I want to keep it interactive. I'm not the only one who's going to keep talking. So anyone, even the parents can ask me questions, and even you guys. I'll do the translations. May I just read?
सो हम असी पहला संप्रतिका जी का धन्यवाद करते हैं. Now speaking as a Punjabi, so I'm sure you heard the Tanwad word, you understood that. So I know there's a lot to take in. We had a small technical issue. The laptop was not syncing with the projector, but she's covered more or less everything. So before we come to the children, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਪੈਰੈਂਟਸ ਬੈਠੇ ਹਨ, ਬਜ਼ੁਰਗ ਬੈਠੇ ਹਨ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਬੈਠੇ ਆ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਵਾਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਜਵਾਬ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਹਨ. ਬਟ ਬਿਫੋਰ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਸ ਸਵਾਲ ਜਵਾਬ ਦੇ ਸੈਸ਼ਨ 'ਚ ਜਾਈਏ, ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਰੀਫ ਦੇ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਹ ਪੈਰੈਂਟਸ ਵੀ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਈ ਕਿ ਐਗਜ਼ੈਕਟਲੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ. ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਦੀ ਜੋ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਇਟਸ ਨਾਟ ਕਿ ਬੱਚਾ ਸਕੂਲ ਗਿਆ, ਪਾਸ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤੇ ਬਸ ਉੱਥੇ ਗੱਲ ਖਤਮ ਹੋ ਗਈ. ਜੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਹੀ ਗੱਲ ਖਤਮ ਕਰਨੀ ਸੀ ਤਾਂ ਬੇਸਿਕ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਜੋ ਬੱਚੇ ਦਾ ਰਾਈਟ ਹੈਗਾ, ਉਹ ਹੈਗਾ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਫਾਰਮ 4 ਤੇ ਹੁਣ ਦੇ ਟਾਈਮ 'ਚ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ O ਲੈਵਲ ਬੱਚੇ ਦਾ ਬੇਸਿਕ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਰਾਈਟ ਹੈ. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ, ਉਨੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ. ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਬੱਚਾ A ਲੈਵਲਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਬੱਚਾ B.Tech ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਜਾਂ ਬੱਚਾ ਫਾਊਂਡੇਸ਼ਨਲ ईयर तो बाद अपनी पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट, अंडर ग्रेजुएट जो भी डिप्लोमा वगैरह करना चाहते, वो सारी उस बच्चे दे विच आपां इन्वेस्टमेंट करनी. ओह पढ़ाई जो उधर फॉर्म 4 तो बाद हम सही फॉर्म 4 क्योंकि आपने ज़्यादा आप हले भी आई कदे बच्चे ने फॉर्म 4 खत्म कर ली उस हिसाब के साथ उसके बाद जो आप बच्चे दे विच इन्वेस्टमेंट कर रहे हैं ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ उस बच्चे का करियर बनता है. करियर ज़रूरी क्यों है? क्योंकि करियर ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਪਹਿਚਾਣ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ. ਜਿਹਦਾ ਮਿਸਿਸ ਸੀਰਤ ਹੈ, ਮੈਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਪ੍ਰਾਊਡ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਟੀਚਰਸ ਹਾਂ. ਸਾਡੀ ਪਹਿਚਾਣ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਟੀਚਰਸ ਹਾਂ. ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਦੀ ਪੀੜ੍ਹੀ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਟੀਚਰ ਹੋਣਾ ਇੱਕ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਆਕਿਊਪੇਸ਼ਨ ਜਾਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਕਰੀਅਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਪਰ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਦੇਖੋ ਟੀਚਰਸ ਦੀ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਡਿਮਾਂਡ ਹੈ. पिछले वीक जो मैं किसूमू सी मैं एक एक्टिविटी कर दिया, आई वर्क विद चिल्ड्रन विद डिसेबिलिटीज इन द कंट्री एज वेल. तो पता है कि अमेरिका के विच टीचर्स हु आर वर्किंग विद चिल्ड्रन विद डिसेबिलिटीज गेट वीजा फ्री वर्क. Visa free. You apply, you go to the US and you have a wonderful life. Even when Trump is the president, you don't need a visa to go there. We are exporting teachers in thousands from Kenya to the UK. It is a very important career. So जब अपने बच्चे कहते हैं कि ऐसी टीचिंग जाना चाहते हैं, तो उसे उन्होंने encourage करो. मिस कृतिका अपन समझा रही सी कि सिर्फ डॉक्टर, इंजीनियर ते लॉयर तक होना छोड़ो बच्चों. दुनिया और बाकी भी जितने भी करियर्स ने बहुत ज़रूरी है. दुनिया उन्होंने भी इर्द गिर्द घूमती है. जिन्हें आप ज़्यादा डॉक्टर्स हो रहे हैं, जो तुसी देखो आजकल की कितनी कंपैटिटिव इंडस्ट्री होगी. अपने बच्चे रात भर नहीं सोने. जे कोई ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬੱਚਾ डॉक्टर है तो ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ पता है कि उस बच्चे ने 3 दिन तक शायद रोटी भी नहीं खानी. जे उस बच्चे ਨੂੰ कोई मैडिकल कंडीशन हैगी है कि ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬੱਚਾ मरीज बनेगा कि वो मरीज़ों ਨੂੰ देखिए. That's another thing we need to think about. जे आप lawyers की बात कर रहे हो, we are now in a global village, मतलब आप एक पिंड बन गया है. पूरी दुनिया में एक पिंड है. जो भी आप कर रहे हैं उन्होंने lawyers की लोड़ है. That means कि lawyers ਨੂੰ बार-बार पढ़ना पड़ेगा. केन्या का लॉ किया, यूके का लॉ किया, उन्होंने का लॉ किया, एंड लॉ बदलता है. दैट मीन्स पढ़ाई खत्म नहीं होगी. जब आप इंजीनियर्स की गल कर रहे हैं, साढ़े को इंजीनियर्स बहुत है. अज के टाइम के बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग डिस्कशन स्वेम हो रही सी. केन्या के प्लंबर्स की घाट, प्लंबर्स इतों तक कि मिनिस्ट्री ने जो बच्चे अपाहिज बच्चे जिन्होंने आप पंजाबी कहते हैं उन्होंने एक प्लंबिंग का वोकेशनल करिकुलम बना के दिता कि केन्या के प्लंबर्स क्वालिटी प्लंबर्स भी हैं. दुबई तो उन्होंने बुलाया जाता है. हाथी जो आप काम करते वो भी कीमत हैगी है, हले भी है. जब आप ऑस्ट्रेलिया जाते हैं, आई वॉज लाफिंग विद समबडी कि जो उन्होंने बच्चे ने ਟਿਪੀਕਲ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ, ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਕੁਛ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਡਿਗਰੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀਗੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਦੇ ਨੀਡਡ ਟੂ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲਾਈਜ਼। ਦਿਸ ਪਰਸਨ ਬਿਕੇਮ ਐਨ Uber driver in Australia. They earned 3 times more than their colleagues. 3 ਗੁਣਾ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਤਨਖਾਹ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਦੀ ਸੀ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਹੱਥੀਂ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਟਾਈਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਰੀਗਰਾਂ ਦੀ ਫਿਰ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੀਮਤ ਵੱਧ ਗਈ ਹੈ। ਜਸਟ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ, ਵੀ were talking with one of our students ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਾਰਪੈਂਟਰ ਬਣਨਾ। ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕੇਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਬਾਹਰੋਂ ਫਰਨੀਚਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੰਗਵਾ ਸਕਦੇ। ਰਿਫਟ ਵੈਲੀ ਅਕੈਡਮੀ ਕਿਉਂ ਬਣਾਈ ਗਈ ਹੈ? ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਕਾਰੀਗਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ 'ਚੋਂ ਜੋ ਹੁਨਰ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਬਰਕਰਾਰ ਰੱਖਣਾ। ਸੋ ਵਾਟ ਮੈਡਮ ਕ੍ਰਿਤਿਕਾ ਇਜ਼ ਟ੍ਰਾਈਂਗ ਟੂ ਐਕਸਪਲੇਨ ਇਜ਼, ਦੇਖੋ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਪੋਕਟ ਵੀ ਦੇਖਣੀ ਹੈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਲਾਈਫ ਹੈਜ਼ ਟੂ ਗੋ। ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਖਰਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਧਿਆਨ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਹੈ, ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਉਣਾ ਹੈ, ਘਰ ਵੀ ਚਲਾਉਣਾ ਹੈ ਔਰ ਅੱਗੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੁਢੇਪੇ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਸੋਚਣਾ। ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਇੱਕੋ ਵਾਰੀ ਬੱਚੇ ਦੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ 'ਚ ਲਗਾ ਦਾਂਗੇ ਔਰ ਉਸ ਬੱਚੇ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਗਾਰੰਟੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਅੱਗੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਕੰਮ ਮਿਲੇਗਾ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲੇਗਾ, ਉਹ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਬੋਝ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਪੈਰੈਂਟਸ ਗੋਇੰਗ ਟੂ ਡਿਪਰੈਸ਼ਨ, ਜਾਂ ਪੈਰੈਂਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਐਂਜ਼ਾਇਟੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਕੀ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਬੱਚੇ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ਼ਰ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਕਿ ਹੁਣ ਤੂੰ ਪੜ੍ਹਿਆ ਤੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕੰਮ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਮਿਲਦਾ। ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣ ਦਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਆਹ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਨ ਅ ਨਟਸ਼ੈਲ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨਾਲ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰੋ ਕਿ ਬੇਟਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਪਏ ਹੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਹ ਸਬਜੈਕਟ ਸਿਲੈਕਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਐਗਜ਼ੈਕਟਲੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਕੀ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ। ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ, ਯੂਨੀਸਰ ਕ੍ਰਿਤਿਕਾ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਟੀਮ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡੀ ਐਗਰੀਮੈਂਟ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਬੱਚੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਆਫਿਸਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਜਾਣਗੇ, which they already give to every other student, but if there's any further assistance that is needed, we will be there to support our children. That is what the MOU stands for. ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ UK ਨਹੀਂ ਭੇਜ ਸਕਦੇ, US ਨਹੀਂ ਭੇਜ ਸਕਦੇ। There are other countries which give quality education ਘੱਟ ਭਾਅ। At the end of the day ਬੱਚੇ ਦੀ ਡਿਗਰੀ ਤਾਂ ਆਈ ਜਾਣੀ, ਠੀਕ ਹੈ। ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਡਿਗਰੀ ਦੇਖਣੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਕੁਅਲਾਈਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਜਾਣਗੇ। ਜਦੋਂ ਇਕੁਅਲਾਈਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਏਗਾ, ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਨਾਮ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਇਕੁਅਲਾਈਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਦੈਟਸ ਅ ਪ੍ਰੈਸਟੀਜ। ਇਕੁਅਲਾਈਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਐਗਜ਼ੈਕਟਲੀ ਕਿਹੜੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਾਈ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਆਹ ਡਿਸੀਜਨਸ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ਼ਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਨਾ ਕਰਿਓ, ਸਪੋਰਟ ਲਓ, ਯੂਨੀਸੈਫ ਦੀ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਲਓ, ਇੱਥੋਂ ਦੀ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਦੀ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਲਓ। ਵੀ ਹੇਅਰ ਟੂ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਯੂ। So Jay, before we go to the children, allow me, because we will answer the questions. ਜੇ parents ਦੇ ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਸਵਾਲ ਹਨ, please ਸਾਨੂੰ ਹੁਣ ਪੁੱਛ ਲਓ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਉਸ ਦਾ ਜਵਾਬ ਦੇ ਸਕੀਏ। ਕੋਈ ਵੀ parents ਜੋ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਚਾਹਣ, ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਵਿੱਚ, ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸੇਵਾ 'ਚ ਖੜੇ ਹਾਂ। ਕੋਈ ਵੀ question, ਕੋਈ ਵੀ parent ਪੁੱਛਣਾ ਚਾਹਣ। ਤੁਹਾਡੇ 'ਚੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਣਾ ਚਾਹੇਗਾ ਕਿ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ A levels ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ B.Tech ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ O levels ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਸਿੱਧਾ ਕੰਮ 'ਤੇ ਲੱਗਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਪੈਰੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਮਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਖਿਆਲ ਆਇਆ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਮਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖਿਆਲ ਕਿ ਹਲੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ, ਹਲੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੋਚਿਆ। ਸੋ ਲੈਟਸ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਦੈਟ ਜਸਟ so that we can put their minds to rest. You should have had a
I just want to make one comment from my observations. I'm an educator for the past 30 years, and there's one observation from those 30 years to now where we are. One thing that is really disturbing our students and parents is the gadgets. Balanced use of their mobile phones. कई बार बच्चे अपनी दुनिया से घूमते हैं, ना पढ़ाई पर ध्यान दे सकते हैं, ना हथी कोई काम करते, पानी का गिलास भी नहीं चुकते, रोटी खाने लिए बुलाओ they don't come. So when we talk to parents, we tell them to बिठाओ घर भी पढ़ो, कहते सुनते ही नहीं हैं। Once in that phone, they are in a different world. ना पढ़ाई बेनिफिट करती है, इन्ने पैसे खर्चते हैं पेरेंट्स, ना माँ बाप बेनिफिट करते, कोई सेवा भी नहीं करता, ना अपनी कौम सेवा की नहीं होता माँ, वो भी हाथ नहीं लाते घर। Maybe Gurudwara when in groups they do something, but at the home level, kids don't want to get up to help their old grandparents or their parents. Number two, we're talking about education outside Kenya. Well, I was born in this country and this is the only country I know most. I know Sonia well traveled. I've also traveled a few countries. Canada of when I went and Canada right now is very different. We're talking about jobs, we're talking about these attractions. Okay, Australia jana, America jana, London jana. My own son wanted to join Nottingham. But we didn't have the money, the 1 million you're talking about, we didn't have it. But because we didn't have the money, we told the boy, sorry, go to Nairobi University. There's nowhere else you're going. He dropped out of second year and the career you're talking about, he wanted architecture. But because he hated maths, he couldn't survive. So he wanted interior architecture, not even interior design. So today he's a self-taught running a company remote. And yes, he's making custom-made furniture.
Yes.
And he's successful in this country. He didn't have to go abroad and torment his parents. Because every year you have to send money. Here you are struggling the way it's happening in India and Punjab and Gujarat. They sell their land, send those kids there. Those kids are nowhere. There's no money. There are no jobs. So I think Sonia is right also. Come down to earth. Whatever work in hand is work to in the bush. And to outside Kenya or whichever country you are in. So I believe in family values. Kids should stay with their parents, support them and do whatever is available. Not pressure and lose your parents. Guys, study. What you have in hand, mehnat karo, only karo. Another job लो जितने बहुत pressure ना पड़े parents से तो तुसी भी successful हो. अच्छी काम भी करो the way you Madam Sonia is saying. I agree with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I think I totally agree. As much as we as a brand like to say study abroad, but that's the reason I brought up this part that the kids and the parents need to talk about affordability. If your parents are not in a position to stretch out to make you go and study abroad, then you need to consider other options. I am very pro about that. I am very pro that if you can't, okay, spend the 3-4 years in Kenya, and then if you feel like you're on by your own and you're on your own feet, then go ahead and do a master's. Go and do masters in the top world universities that you go to. I've seen students prosper like that. So yes, affordability and that communication between you and your parents about money. Sometimes even as parents, we pull ourselves back in terms of talking to our kids about money because we don't want to discourage them. But in this time and era, it is very important to have that transparency within the family that this is what we can afford and this is where we can take you. So you either make peace with it or you get scholarships or you work hard and get scholarships. That's what I like to say.
We also have community support.
Yes.
Bursaries and community support for bright kids who are dreaming big, but the parents can't make it.
Yeah.
So community support is there for the kids.
And in that case, for scholarships, I think the kids play a very important role because most of the scholarships that you do end up getting is merit-based. Yeah, so merit means academics. So if you don't perform well in high school, up to at least IGCSE, you will not get any merit-based scholarships. Yeah, question there.
In case you are applying for university, how long before do you need to apply for scholarship? You just asked the question again, please. That's it. If you are applying on a scholarship basis, how long before do you need to apply before applying for the university?
So the application process in general begins a year in advance. Okay. So for example, there are 2 major intakes, and since we are talking mostly undergraduate, there's only one major intake, that is September in all the countries, whether it's UK, US, Canada, Malaysia, Turkey, Cyprus, but everywhere, September is the major intake. Yeah. So the applications for that intake begin at least, so for example, September 2026, the application started September 2025. So that is the time. And for scholarships, the best tip I can give you, that apply soon. Like apply in the first, as soon as it opens, apply then. Because if your application reaches the first as compared to the 10,000 million applications that the universities get, you are more likely to be considered for a merit-based scholarship because you submitted early. That shows readiness, that shows that you are prepared to apply for this university and you had everything together when the applications opened up, not that the applications opened and then you started making the applications. Then you started making the arrangements. Yeah. So applying sooner is beneficial. Yeah. But there are certain universities which will have deadlines for those applications. So for example, if you are applying to, let's say Oxford or Cambridge in UK, those are the top 2 universities, yeah? They only take applications before October 15th. They do not take applications after that. Yeah? And they open on 1st September, so you just have 1 month and 15 days to make that application. Whereas the other universities meet their deadlines in January. Yeah? So there's some deadline based, but again, as I said, the key to getting a good scholarship is to have everything ready before the application opens up. So day 1 you fill in everything and you submit. And you sit back and relax.
I have another question I've been thinking about. What happens? I chose a certain degree and midway I feel like this is not my thing. Is that the money has risen, but is there any hope after that? Yeah, I want to say there is hope. But now if you come out of it and say that I don't know what I want to do, then that will be a bit worried. But let's say you started with course A, but now you think that no, maybe not this, but course B interests me more. I have a student right now at USIU who's studying something related to computers. And while he was studying his computers, there was something into graphics and graphic designing and all of that, which was a course, which was a small part of it. He got so much interested in that now he just applied to the US to study graphic design. Because it's not widely available here. Even if it is, it's at a diploma level, not at a degree level. So he applied to the US to go and study graphic design. So yes, he did come out of that course in 2 years, but at least he knew what he wanted to do. So knowing what you want to do will just help you. But if you are coming out of it with no plan B, then you may have to get out of yourself in that situation where you don't want to be. What about the gap?
Yes, I completely agree and I completely vouch for a gap year because a gap year gives you a sound mind to think about it. You know, a lot of students even take a gap year after IGCSEs, like O levels. And I'm completely in favor of it. A lot of people will come and tell you, no, a gap year will ruin you, you will not do anything and nothing will happen, your CV will show a gap, nobody cares. Trust me. I interview so many people with gaps, I don't even ask them, why do you have a gap? You have a gap for a reason. Anything, you know? And it's very important for you to take that break if you need and figure out what you want to do. Because as I said, if you're not coming out with a plan B, then it is a problem. And then you need to talk. And we need to decide what you want to do. So taking a gap year is actually something I would watch for.
Any questions?
Do these help job placements after you're graduating?
Not yet. Why I say not yet is we are actively working behind the scene to start something which will help students to get placed. Even if they come back to Kenya after studying. Like, to give you an example, I had a meeting with the Kenya Society of Law. And I actually told them that we have students who study law in the UK and then they come back, but you guys give them a hard time because you don't either recognize the degree or the license and they have to go through the entire board process and all of that. And they actually spoon us out. It's now actually, they have understood the pattern of what UK has, and we are a Commonwealth country, right? Kenya is Commonwealth, UK is Commonwealth. So why then make lawyers' life difficult, right? So they actually have a process in place right now, so they just have to come give one examination, which is their licensing exam. That's it. They don't have to go through the board and all of that. There's just one exam that they give. So they're actively working in that sector to make it better, and most likely in the next few years we'll be there. Sorry?
We have placements in countries like, we encourage kids to study abroad, and kids have dreams. So some do manage to reach what they want to do. But out there, we know how it is. So do you help those kids to get jobs in foreign countries?
Not actively. I wouldn't say that we have a proper department for that. But as I said, this that is work in progress will also help those students to get placed in those countries that they go to study. But even after they finish, sometimes students do reach out to us. And what we do is connect them with the people who have already been placed or employed in that country, so that they at least know where and how to build their CV and where to apply, where to look for job fairs and sort of things.
That's positive.
Thank you. How many of us do community services? Any seva? Okay, we go for seva. All of us go for seva, yeah? Outside the Gurudwara or something. How many of you have your certificates for the seva or any community service activity that you've done? Very few. Whenever you go to an organization like this one, you come to this as an in-house event for the community. Well, what if we had many communities with us and you were asked to go for an interfaith event? How many of you would actually get a letter to show that you participated in such events with other organizations, other communities? Okay. Please help them to understand why it's so important.
Yeah, I was talking to actually your son and I mentioned this. And I said that, look, if you are a high achiever academically, it will not make any sense for you to be a high achiever with no community service, no extracurriculars, and nothing more to show, because they don't need a bookworm. They don't look for students who are bookworms. Take it from someone who places 1,000 students every intake. We don't place bookworms, and bookworms are not the ones who get the biggest scholarships. I'm telling you the biggest scholarship. Last year, I had a student who got a $54,000 scholarship from a US uni, was a national level badminton player and a national level swimmer, and actively participating in reducing period poverty in rural Kenya. This was his profile. He's going to study what? Aeronautical engineering. Where? In the US. If you don't have anything more than your academics, his academics were great, super, A-star kid, straight, yeah? Studied at all the big schools, applied to all the big schools. But his profile would not have stood out if he hadn't done the extra work that he did. In terms of sports, in terms of serving, in community service, and you might think that community service does not add on to your profile. It does. It very much does. Yeah, I cannot emphasize it enough. It is very important for you to have more than just academics.
Another question. When we are looking at our careers, how many of you have a mentor that you go to see and talk to, that I want to go to this career? How many of us, Smith has been doing it like today, good. Anybody who goes for mentorship? Shadowing? Okay, let's also touch about that. Why is it important?
So in your free time, wherever you get time, let's say you are interested in IT, yeah, and maybe your uncle or your dad, anyone who's working in IT, I would suggest go and sit down with them and have a day in their life, like, just see how they do their jobs. Like, for example, I was telling her for someone, I said, if you want to really learn psychology, come and sit with me one day and see the amount of students, the type of students I see, and you will understand each personality, So it is very important, job shadowing, especially when you're not missing out on school time. You see, universities appreciate you doing these things without missing your school time. So in December when we have long holidays, and if you don't have any plans, just go 1 week shadow. Go to MP shadow if you want to become a doctor. You know, I had a student once, by the way, I don't know if I told you this story. Yeah? She was so keen on studying medicine and we applied and everything and she was ready to go. She was going to, I think, Malaysia or Turkey or Cyprus or somewhere. And she was so keen and she was so passionate about it. And then we applied, we got everything, we had our visas, we had our offers. And then there was some time between her now going to the university. So she decided, let me, take an internship at Aga Khan. She went day 1 and she came back and told me, I can't study medicine. I don't want to study medicine. And this is a person I worked with for 6 months. And she was very passionate. And then she goes, I can't stand the sight of blood. I cannot. She went one day, just had a look at a surgery from far, and she was done. She didn't want it. So I don't want you to be in that situation, where you have glorified that career in your mind, but then now when it comes to reality, you are probably not going to be able to do it. So let's put ourselves in situations where we actually judge that are we really cut out for this. Don't wait for, when people tell you that you're not cut out for this, don't do it, you feel bad. And that's human nature. Parents tell you, I know you can't do it, you feel bad. Even I feel bad. If someone pointed at me, my weakness is straight, I feel bad. But if I experience it myself, I know that, okay, I'm not good at this. Let me just make that my mistake. When it comes to you naturally, you'll understand it better. Yeah? So job shadowing is very, very important. I completely vouch for it.
Now we're ready for questions. We have told you, we keep insisting get certificates. Please keep collecting certificates. Even the divans that we are participating in, you're doing kirtan, music, can give you scholarship. Yeah. Music, kirtan,
Playing instruments.
playing instruments can get your scholarship. So make sure you're getting certificates. That's why I think on those. Then, when you go for an event, make sure you've got a letter. If you went for shadowing mentally, I'm sure if we test our files, you'll find our files are distinct with letters. Letters of recommendation, letters of appreciation, letters of training. Any training, go. Don't think, go. Each and every one of you who has registered with us, you will be given a certificate of participation in today's event. It will still add on to show how serious you are about your education. When we profile, I think we need to talk about profiling class. That is something we will talk about now. And we have like 10 minutes before we can close the session. I want each one of you to give us one career that everyone says you should do. Mummy, daddy, auntie, uncle. तू तो डॉक्टर ही बनना है, तू तो इंजीनियर ही बनना है, तू IT विच ही जाना, एक और करियर देना है, तो एक और करियर देना है that you're not sure of whether it has a potential or not. Do I need the mic? Am I clear enough? I'm clear enough. So what are the two careers we're going to talk about? First one? Manu, first one? Not paying attention. That's why the teacher is looking at you. Anji?
Maths.
Maths? Okay, we'll talk about maths. You love maths? Nice. So, his mommy has told him he has to become a mathematician. Mommy, don't pressure him too much. Mommy wants you to become a mathematician. No? What does mommy want you to become? We have not talked about it yet? Let's talk about it when we go home. Okay? Good. So at least one of us was paying attention. One career that you're being pressurized about, you must become. You must. And one career that is close to your heart. You have to have thought about it. And each one of you is going to participate, and we're closing the doors because none of you is allowed to go out. Okay? So let's talk about profiling, and then let's talk about that.
Okay, so I was just trying to clarify something. Okay. So profiling, what is profiling? When you go to a doctor, does he directly prescribe you medicine, or does he ask you what is wrong with you? Yeah, they ask you what is wrong with you, how are you feeling, is there fever, are you coughing, then what else, like other things, right? So academic profiling is something that is very important, yeah, and sometimes we don't take it in the way that we needed to take it, yeah. So it's basically us creating a portfolio of you know. So this is what you've done, this is what you've achieved, you see. This is what subjects you've done so far, these are your grades. Just basically how you have mocks in school, right? The mocks are done for what? So that you will give your practice of the main exams, right? The final exams, right? So similarly, profiling is that, where we need to know what academically you've achieved, what other than academics you've achieved, and at what level. Everything is at what level. The level of everything is very important, okay? So if you are in year 11, for example, and you have 9 subjects, okay? So 9 subjects, you may say, आपने 5 subjects अच्छे perform किए, for example, and there are those 4 subjects that you have not performed really well in. So what we are able to do is categorize that, okay, these 4 subjects are not a strong pursuit in your case. So if we are suggesting you careers, we will suggest you things which do not involve these 4 subjects. You see, that's how profiling helps. Okay. Then I was telling this to someone earlier. There's a university in Spain which offers scholarships to students who have participated in debates. Have you heard of MUNs and EMUNs? Yes, public speaking and all that. They have a special scholarship for that. Your profiling includes such achievements as well. Okay. So if you've got the award of the presidential award, you've done World Scholars, you've done EMUN, you've done public speaking competition somewhere in Kapsabet. Helps. You see? So that's the importance of profiling. So even you as a person, personally, you should have a profile of yourself, so that when you are going to meet someone, you are able to present to them. I've studied this at this grade, now you tell me what to do. It doesn't work like that. Yeah? You have to come up with everything. Of course, yes, the right kind of people will ask you what you've done outside of academics. But if you end up meeting a wrong person, then you're fine. Do you get? So it's very important to profile yourself. Yeah? And that profile will only build if you work on building it. Yeah? So participation, proactiveness in doing more than just academics is very important.
Does that make sense? So what is the first thing that you're going to do when you leave here?
Okay, you will need to mind. When she talks about you're going to profile yourself, that's your homework. When you profile yourself and you introduce yourself and you say, I have just done Form 4. I have just finished 4 levels. It's not just. Some of you are speaking in international forums. Some of you are participating in hot meals like we have, the donations going on for Give Sight, Give Hope with RYA and Lions Sight First Eye Hospital. When you participate in such activities, you're building your profile. Number 2, when you are choosing your clubs, you're not choosing a fun activity. I'm so sorry. It's not a fun activity. It is who you are. That will tell us what kind of a person you are. You want to become a lawyer and you've never been in a debate club. Will we take you seriously? You can't. We won't take you seriously. So if you want to become a lawyer, your testing ground is the debate club. So let's do a little bit of testing. If you want to become a doctor, what would be your ideal club? First aid. Good. If you want to become a zoologist, you mentioned, what would be your ideal club? Environmental? You don't have the guides anymore, girl guides and scouts anymore? Okay, if you want to become a leader, how many of us love leading others? We all do. Like bossing people. But you want to become a leader. Leaders, chairpersons over here in the making, and chair ladies in the making. What would be your ideal club? Scouts, maybe, because you need to move up ranks. Good. Boys, I just hear you giggling. What would be ideal club for becoming, you want to become a leader? A community leader, anything? Hey, boys, you only choose football club. Girls, what would be ideal club? Yes, dear? Public speaking, very good. What else? MOU will not help. Sorry, the East Africa, yeah, sorry. That will not help. It will help. It helps, right? What if I want to go into IT? Robotics. Robotics. Everyone likes robotics. What else? STEM. STEM is only for IT. What else? And maths. Why is STEM so important when you talk about STEM? That's another question I have for you guys. Boys, STEM. Why is STEM important? Samaj, you guys love going into projects of STEM. Why are they pushing into STEM projects? Who knows? CBC, the local curriculum, is big on STEM. People went to parliament to fight for it. Why? Who is innovating nowadays? Who innovates anymore? The only thing we've innovated so far is ChatGPT. Seems to be the best thing we've innovated. We need innovators. Your career should be giving a solution to the problem of tomorrow. If your career is not giving a solution to the problem of tomorrow, then you need to rethink what your career is. So we're going to move now to asking you what is that one ideal that you must do and one that is close to your heart. There's a specific career that I want to know whether this generation is into it or not. I'll start right at the back. I see there's a young girl. Would you like to come to the front or you'll just shout it from there? Sorry, we can't hear you. Remember, we're not judging anyone, we just want to know ideal and what you want.
One thing I've been told I must do is something to do with real estate because it holds a lot of money. But if I really listen to my heart and what I want to do, it would be something to do with sports. Because I'm really sports oriented.
Okay, good. Thank you. That's a very interesting answer. Next, we will start with you, please. What is the ideal and what is it that you really want to do? Just be honest about it. Sorry?
I'm going in architecture and I have a passion for it, so
You have passion for architecture. Nice. And that's your passion and that's the pressure and the pleasure together. Pressure and pleasure. Okay. Nice.
I want to become an accountant, and I think
Accountant?
accounts.
Accounts.
Your parents are okay with that. Like your parents also support that.
Nice. Okay. Accounts as an SCCA or?
Yes.
Wow. Math, yeah, and AI. Okay. You'll have to compete with AI at some point. Okay. I'm sure you're up to the task. Yes, dear.
I haven't been pressurized. I've just been told next to what I want to do. So I'm doing aviation.
Sorry, you want to do?
Aviation, pilot.
Aviation. Nice, interesting. Good. Yes, dear. We're coming to you. You've been very quiet.
I like to be a neurosurgeon.
Sorry?
Neurosurgeon.
Neurosurgeon. Nice. And that's your pressure and your pleasure. Nice.
I will do something in the business side.
Sorry?
Something in the business side.
Business. And you know exactly, or is it admin or
I want to do it.
something to do with business? So at least you have a focus there. Good. Yes. Business. You're becoming partners? Or will you be taking over each other's businesses? But something that's in line with business. Young man, what would you want to become? I think a public speaker, you're very confident. Very nice. Do you like speaking, public speaking speeches? No. Okay, we need to think about that. Or you know what you want to become? Not yet? It's okay, you take your time. You have time. Yes?
I want to become accountant.
Accountant. Okay. Maths again. Interesting. Yes, madam?
My parents want me to become a doctor, but I want to do something with sports.
Okay, and you can combine those both. You know that. Sports and medicine, you can combine those. It's a win-win for you then. Good. You? Sorry? Oh, we have two. We need to open a bigger hospital. Good. You? Sorry? Graphic design. And that's the pleasure or the pressure? Or both? Oh, interesting. So what in graphic design? I'm sorry, I'm just a bit curious. As in, have you had any experience? A little bit. Okay, nice. So even you two are going into partnership? Sort of. Okay. I wish you all the best. I'm sure you'll be successful. Architecture.
And that's pressure.
Oh, nice. And are you shadowing?
In the lab, we get an opportunity to do work experience.
Nice. At least you've got good. Those ones are still confused. That's why they gave me. Don't worry about them. They're still figuring out what they want to do. That's why I gave them time. Sorry? Pediatrician. Nice. Ali? Doctor. Okay. Doctor. That's why you're busy taking all the notes. Nice. Smart. Young and smart. Optician. The hospital code that everybody knows. We'll expand.
So you know those business people just open a hospital. You have doctors ready.
We have a hospital here, but we're expanding all over Gurudwara. They're coming as consultants. You? Doctors. This one. We need to have another talk. Yes, on your side. Huh? A nurse. Got you guys. Okay. Good. And that's pleasure and pressure. What are they? Okay, so you're still medicine, still be doctor. Both pressure and pleasure. Okay, all of you have said doctors, we are going to Gurudwara for the next community service. Pata laga jayega kitna खुशी से आया shadow. Yours है? Biochemistry. Yours is psychology. We have accepted your single. Nice. Yeah, by the way, we need all the basic characteristics. Good. Anji. And pressure? No pressure. Nice. Huh? Oral and
Something like
so, okay, I didn't know that.
I knew and I'm shocked how she does.
Carpenter.
Carpenter, yes. Then that one is your pressure and your pleasure. I know you love it.
Architecture, engineering.
Which one do you want to become?
I don't mind being.
You don't mind any?
What my heart says.
So whatever your heart says at that point. Which should be in the next 2 years, if I'm not wrong. Okay, Anand. Okay, we'll give you time. Is your neighbor ready? Huh? Cyber security. And that's your pressure and your pleasure. No. Tabla star. Thank you. Again, if you certify in tabla musical instrument, get certified in it, your chances for growth in education become higher. Even those who are doing, I remember Sahib Gurudwara had 2 girls who did the sitar. There was some girls who had done it. I hope you have got certifications for that you are certified. That will help a lot. You really did it so well. Keep it up. Anand, since you're still not someone, you're together. So, we've accepted it. This means
Chef.
chef. Yes. And that's your pleasure and the pressure is?
Pleasure.
And pressure?
I don't know about that.
You don't know that. You don't want. We haven't had that conversation. Okay. Engineer. Engineer? Which engineer? Okay. That one still has time. We'll talk. Engineer as well. Huh? Aircraft. Okay. And that's what you want to become. That's what you want to become. See, boys. Seriously. Untouchable. Huh? Software developer in AI. Pressure? Pressure, there's no pressure. Is there pressure for you to do something else? Pressure, what? Sahib, aviation and dentistry. Which one do you want to do? Nice, so now you really have to decide which one you're going to be. Yeah, definitely. Unless you're going to invent, then STEM will help you. You need to invent something in the air for us. Young man at the back. Finance. That's your pressure and your pleasure? Okay. Mechanical engineering. Like daddy. I thought so. So that one is already in your plan. Cyber security. And? Automotive. Interesting. Smart cars. Okay, nice. Manraj?
Astrophysicist.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot yours.
Accounting. Accounts.
Accounts. But I thought you have a pressure.
Yeah, pressure is doctor.
Your pressure is?
Doctor.
Doctor. Yeah. That's why you have 13 subjects and I was struggling to understand why you're 13. Okay. So, maybe the choose is that. Yeah. That's for you was accounts. And it will not get replaced by AI and all the softwares that software in AI is going to do for you. So you need to think of the future. Think about that. Right at the back. Software engineering. Nice. Why I'm asking you this is because, as she had explained, when we were at your age, and I'm sure even your parents will tell you, we didn't have this service. Nobody asked us to seek even. Nobody really took us for career counseling to say, okay, this is important for you. You need to think about your future. When I was young, I really wanted to become a lawyer. I really wanted to become a lawyer. So obviously history was one of my favorite subjects and literature was the second. But as life would have it, I had to start working very early in age. And after about 25 years now, I'm a global advocate for people with disabilities. So whatever I dreamt of, if you're listening,
whatever I dreamt of as a little girl, after 25 years, my journey completed. And yes, I do work with people with disabilities around the world. We advocate for their inclusion in education and vocational training, and of course, careers and workplaces. Why I'm telling you this is that there is no straight line between your careers and your life goals. It's not necessary, it's going to be that. You have to remain focused on what makes you truly happy. And work around it slowly but slowly. If you don't get it right the first time, it's okay. Sit down, talk to people who understand career counseling. If you still feel confused, come with your parents, come with your siblings, come with your teachers from your Gurudwara schools, because most of us are in Gurudwara schools here. Come and talk to UNICEF. Or come looking for me and say, Auntie, we need to have a discussion. Please guide me. We will then send you to the right people. For example, in the morning when we were having consultations with Madam Jane Mwangi, one thing we understood is that if you want to live in Kenya, as Auntie Ji rightfully put, if you want to live in Kenya, then you must understand Kenya. You must understand the system of Kenya. It also has good options for you. If you do not have the means or your parents are struggling to pay for your fees, guess what? You have the help option even as a private student. You can get loan that is at very reasonable rates to pursue your education. If you have a challenge and you're really showing us the passion as Auntie rightfully put, it has to be earned academically and with extracurricular activities. You have to be an all-round personality. You're not a child anymore if you're talking about careers. You're stepping into the adulthood. So you need to get very serious but not too serious with your life. Okay? Lastly, maybe you need to work and study. That's the best thing you do for yourselves. Right? Your experience in work will guide your career. There's nothing wrong in studying in the evenings or over the weekend, but doing part-time jobs and then taking leave for your exams. That way you'll have a balanced life. You'll be more proud of yourself because it is you who paid for yourself through college. You will build your life the way you want to build it. So please do not shy away from any shadowing, mentoring, any of those kind of opportunities that you get for community service. Do not shy away. Please be the first one to come forward and say, I would like to do this, but I request that you please give me a letter of recognition, a letter of appreciation, a certificate of participation, or better if it's a competition, I would like to fight for this one. Because this is my right. I have worked for it and I want to be given the award based on my hard work. Do not run away from those opportunities. I think with this we really are done with the session, and we would like to thank each one of you for being here, for registering at such a short notice. जो सारे parents, जो कार वाले जेडे भी सारे कार डिस्ट्रिक्ट आए हैं, कड़ा बहुत धन्यवाद. I would also like to thank the committee members who visited us in the morning, committee members from Sahib Gurudwara who have also visited us now. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your dedication, and thank you so much for your inclusion. We do appreciate you for that. And of course, our thank you is not complete without thanking you, Madam Kritika and your team. Thank you so much for being our partners and being here with us. go for langar, but please make sure that we are leaving our place very clean, our gurdwaras very clean. Pulchuti Khema, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru